Okay.
Was it talking Chinese? What's going on, everybody? Gentlemen, Jordan, what
Might
time is
start
it?
sounding it hot and steady with the fuck? What the fuck just happened? I was having a conversation about
We were
Chinese
talking
food.
about
God damn it.
Chinese food, and then this just appeared.
You can't start me up like that. You gotta give me like a 20-second warning.
Oh, there's no.
I was gonna keep going, you know?
Oh,
Egg foo young on there? No, sorry.
Like, I'm thinking the same shit too. I'm like,
It's just
like, what's oh god, okay. Lock the fuck in.
lock in, boys. Here we go.
just lock her in.
Let me pull up my notes.
Do you think sushi is an actual like Japanese word or Chinese word?
Yes, Japanese. Definitely.
Ooh,
It's kind of like
I got my notes. We're good. Sorry, continue on.
kind of like
My
ramen.
phone's charging in the background. I was at like 2%. I was like, shit.
So, Jordan, what of what sent to you, lads, do you want to start with first?
Dude, any of them. They're all three of them. I was digging.
Can we do the worst fan bases first? Because that's number one on my list here.
Yes.
So I just going in
Brennan's
order.
got some passion for this one.
You know what?
I don't want to go first though. I don't want to go first.
I'll go first. I'll go first.
I don't want to go first.
I think we all have the same number one, and if we don't,
I'll go first. No one interrupt anybody on this one. We can discuss afterwards. Because
what'd you say?
Exactly. Okay.
Oh.
My top 5 worst fan bases in all of sports, starting from 1st to 5th.
So first being the worst, fifth being the least worst of least worst of the 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Cubs, Lakers, Yankees, Chiefs, Eagles.
No Cowboys.
Cowboys fan base is the most biggest miss I've ever heard in my life. That is the number one worst fan base in all of sports.
Brian, you put the Chiefs over the fucking Cowboys?
Yes.
This dude is a grade 1 hater.
I'm just, it's opinionated base.
I know it's opinionated, but dude, oh my god, the Cowboys are so fucking bad. Oh.
All right, Jordan, what's yours?
Well, number 1, Dallas. Number 2, Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
Number 3, Pittsburgh Penguins. Number 4, and this one I had some serious battles with myself because I didn't want to do. It's unfortunately the Philadelphia Eagles, but I didn't want to do two. I didn't want to be so biased as to put 2 teams from my division into it, but I have to because I genuinely fucking.
I mean,
can't
Eagles
stand.
fans are just genuinely scum. So
Thank you. Like I can't keep them off the list. I can't.
they're not on my
put
list,
them-
but they're genuinely awful people. So not all of them, but a good majority of that.
They're fucking horrible. Anyways, and then I've been stuck. So here's I'm gonna put. So I'm gonna put my 5th team as a baseball team. And I was so close because I had 2 of my most hated baseball teams, but it's kind of weird how they flipped. I'm going to say the Dodgers as my 5th most hated because I feel like so many of them are just bandwagon, absolutely not fucking fans, right? I used to not like Yankees fans, and I feel like recently the Yankees fans have actually kind of become not that anymore. Like there's still some of them that are those, inner city fucking New York dudes that are just so cocky, I get that, but the Dodgers have to me taken that mantle of like they're what people thought the Yankees used to be by like overspending, getting the biggest stars, yada yada yada. That's the Dodgers now. You've deferred all these contracts, you've kind of cheated a little bit. You get all these huge name players. Shohei, the Japanese pitcher can't pronounce his name. Still got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. The list goes on and on and on. No baseball, genuinely. And all I hear from him is, we're winning the World Series again. Yeah, dude, a fucking 5-year-old could tell you probably, if healthy, you're going to win the World Series. Congratulations. It's not that hard to do when you defer every fucking contract. So I'm going to go Dodgers at number 5.
Okay.
It's very respectable number.
Sorry,
5.
that was my rant of the night there too.
No, I mean you
had to get that one out.
All you. I'm trying to fix. We started having an encoder issue So
Are they hacking us?
now I said encoder overloading. So I was just working on.
Would you like me to wait for my list, or would you like me to let it fly?
I just realized I had 2 LA teams, by the way. I had the Lakers and the Dodgers. I'm
Who
an
would
LA
not?
hater. But they're all fake fans out there, bro.
I'll just wait until you hear my 2 West Coast teams I have on here.
Oh, let's go.
You
Let
good?
I
us
hope you have
let
the
us
Dodgers.
have it.
All right.
The Dodgers.
Number 1, Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you.
Number 2, Golden State Warriors.
Oh, good answer.
Number 3, Lakers fans.
Yep.
Number 4, Penguins fans. Have to agree.
Thank you.
And that again, this is gonna make me look like a hater, but it's just number 5, Red Sox fans.
I mean,
For you-
respectable.
Yeah, I was gonna say genuinely yeah. No, for a Yankees fan, the Red Sox fan base has got to be the cringiest, most
Your
annoying.
stadium is so
Yeah.
good for. All right, you want to talk about ground rule double
Yeah,
galore or green
bro.
monster that stops
Come
you
on
from
now.
hitting home runs? But it's such a historical stadium. Shut the fuck up.
And my thing too with the Red Sox fan is they try to put their team on the pedestal with the Yankees. They are nowhere fucking close, dude. Nowhere fucking close.
As a
Like,
franchise, no, not at all.
yeah, exactly right. Like the history of the franchise, you want to be the Yankees so bad, but you're not. And I'm sorry. And can
I
I
mean,
put an
yeah.
honorable mention for 6th?
Let's
Yes.
hear it.
Because I was very close to putting them on my list.
I have an honorable mention as well. So go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. New York Knicks. They to me are very similar to the Cowboys, right? The fans of New York. This is our fucking year, guys. And then this year, I was getting a little nervous. They did make it to the conference finals, and I was like, dude, if they win one, I'm never gonna hear the end of it. Like, you're gonna have the New York fans forever. So that was my honorable mention. I'm gonna go to New York Knicks.
Say my honorable mention. I was going college.
Oh wow!
Alabama.
I actually. So damn it, I might have changed one answer. I completely was just thinking pro sports. If we're gonna go college, I'm going Michigan.
I mean, rightfully so. You're
I can't fucking
Ohio State
stand
fan.
a Michigan fan, bro. Oh, there's my mother.
I say there's your mommy on.
Sorry about that. I should close that because Frankie's probably gonna walk by shirtless in a second.
But that was solid.
Yeah, it's
It's
there's so many teams you can choose because, like,
Yeah.
honestly, an honorable mention for me is New York Giants fans as
Mm.
well.
Oh,
So that's just another fan base to me that's just like repulsive. But like, and honestly, another football one that I had on here, but I didn't say was the Steelers. Another fan base that
I feel like you should have put them
See,
actually.
I was gonna do the Steelers.
I can't fucking stand the Steelers either.
I
bro.
hate. It's one of those.
I almost-
It's another very similar to the Cowboys, guys. They have the past of like actually being good teams,
Mm-hmm.
and they still think they're good.
Yeah.
And it's like, and dude, there's a Steelers fan in my office today, and before Brennan even texted, Aaron Rodgers is gonna sign with the Steelers. The guy had like read it right before,
Hmm.
and this dude is walking around the office. He's like, "I fucking told you guys. I told you guys." And me and him got into it. I'm like, "What did you tell me? You're still gonna fucking suck? Like, are we really gonna have this conversation in the office in front of these respectful people? Are we really gonna do it?" Oh, sorry.
I mean,
I
Steelers
agree.
fans are delusional. bro.
Texan was literally in here before we started talking about everything and said, "Anyone else think the Steelers are fucked
Yeah.
now this season?"
So-
for signing Rodgers?
Actually, I changed my answer. Number 1, Houston Texans fans.
so I
Oh,
truthfully on my list, I almost put the Patriots as well. Because Patriot fans can be.
They're not as bad now
I didn't
as
think
since Tom
when they
Brady.
had Brady.
That's why-
If they had
that's why-
Brady, they would definitely.
That's
be
why I didn't put them on the list because they were almost there, but
Yeah.
now
Brennan's
that
answer of the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant is so fucking true. That was bandwagon city. Leo Ambrosi, shout out. Fucking A, dude. I almost lost my shit on him a couple times. We would play Siege. He's like, "Yeah, dude, you guys see my team?" I'm like, "When the fuck did you become a Warriors fan?" When they got KD a year ago. What? How does that make
Yeah.
sense? That's not how sports works, man.
It's not at all.
God damn.
It's not at all.
it's
It
really
hurts.
not. So, but Jordan,
Good question though.
I want to know.
Good question.
We'll just go down the list. your opinion, the top 5 most expensive sports to play from youth to becoming an adult.
Okay, so
Mine's not going to be in order, by the way, but I have my
yeah,
list.
I was thinking the same thing, but we're going equipment, getting into the league, travel, the whole nine,
League fees, traveling,
everything.
all of it,
Equipment, yeah.
everything under the sun that involves doing that sport.
Yeah, so my first two are going to be very obvious, and you guys know one of them is lacrosse. Lacrosse is ridiculously
Yep.
expensive. The equipment
It's kind of
and the
very expensive.
travel. The travel's brutal, dude. When we played travel ball one summer, we were driving 4.5 fucking hours for a weekend, 5 weekends in a row. And it's like you have to get a hotel. You have to. So I'm 100%, and I am going to incorporate travel ball into this too, because let's be honest, when you play a sport, oftentimes you are playing travel ball. So lacrosse. Number two, a lot of people don't realize this one, but the travel is insane because it's not as popular, especially down south where we are, is hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Sticks are incredibly expensive. Pads are incredibly
Skates.
Skates are
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah, and you have
Gloves.
to. Oh,
Don't
fuck
even
yeah, dude.
if you're a goalie, huh,
Oh, dude, your parents better be wealthy as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the travel again. Most of hockey isn't. You don't have rec leagues down here, so most of it you are traveling to
yeah.
Pennsylvania. You know, sometimes even further north, right, to get to these tournaments.
Minnesota
Minnesota,
or
yeah.
whatever, yeah.
So hockey is absolutely up there. Number three, it's another one, especially with traveling, is baseball. If you guys want a good baseball bat, holy shit, dude! I was in Dick's the other day looking at baseball bats. Them bitches are not cheap.
So
Like, holy Jesus.
so Gavin has come to us and said he wants to get
Oh,
in baseball.
oh,
So
I'm so
we're
sorry.
we're gonna get him in rec, and we're in Dix and we're in Academy. And I was curious because I've seen all over TikTok the dub bat, the
Oh
icon,
yeah.
the hype fire, and I'm just like, how much are they're talking about these bats are expensive. I'm looking, I'm like,
$1,000.
I said that bat is $500 for a youth child.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it. I
Thousand
get
for
it.
adult.
Trust me, I get it because I
Nuts.
played lacrosse and everything. I get it. I was like, wow.
You guys ready for my last two? Because they're going to be a little more off the wall, but we're going off of pricing alone. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it.
Equestrian. I
Mm.
dare one of you motherfuckers to go buy a horse.
All right.
'Cause
Give me a
let me
few weeks.
fucking tell you right
Give me a few
now.
weeks, buddy.
Them
I'll buy the
horses,
oldest
not
motherfucking
cheap.
horse you've
Yeah,
seen. You didn't give me a specification. You said buy a horse. All right, bet.
He's
I'll
gonna
go
one that's
buy
like
a
a
horse.
month away from death.
he's gonna show up with a mini horse like Rob
Yeah.
Deerdeck.
But no, seriously. So my cousin
Slow
actually does.
time out.
What's
Speaking of
up?
that, because it's on the topic of equestrian and horse riding. I saw the greatest video ever. It was
Stream.
fuck. What was it called? What was it called? What are the mini horses actually called?
Don't
They're
know.
called fucking.
I just know
Um,
him as mini horses.
Yeah, I don't.
okay, I can't remember the exact name, but they have little people riding little horses.
All right, come on, bro.
Dude, no, it's a serious thing.
Were they racing?
Like, yes, it's like legit how like you see the Kentucky Derby. It was like that, but for like little people.
Can I bet
And
on it?
I wanted to bet on it so bad, bro. You do not even understand. It is the funniest thing you'll ever watch ever. I promise you.
Oh,
But
that's just
continue on with your.
glorious.
All right, dude. If I could bet on that, I'd go bankrupt.
So
I
would I. It'd be
swear to
bad.
God. Every time I go out there, I'm like, this guy looks fucking legit. And they probably, yeah. Anyways, all right. Number 5, since Brennan, you know him, my little cousin just started up. It's going to be racing. He just started up racing. His mom had to buy him. It's
What?
it's a car, but it's not a car,
Oh,
right? So they're
is he
11
doing
years old.
drag racing or circle
Yeah,
track?
yeah. I think he's doing circle track.
Okay.
And she just bought him this car thing, dude. It was like 11K.
Yeah.
And
Shetland pony races. That's what it's
that's
called.
amazing. I'm definitely gonna watch YouTube of that all night. But so yeah, racing. I'm so my 5, not in any order because if we're gonna go off order, it's probably racing and equestrian 1 and 2. But obviously lacrosse, hockey, baseball, equestrian, and then honestly any racing of any kind where you have to keep up with a car and maintain that car. I mean, that's just if you're doing the maintenance over, like you said, from youth until you're older. I can't even imagine the bill of trying to upkeep that.
Oh,
That would
100%.
mm,
I say
just makes me
one
want to
that
throw
I
up.
had. Basically, my entire list was the same. I had lacrosse, baseball, fucking hockey. I also had one I had on there though, golf.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
From buying the clubs
Yep.
from young to then when you
To
grow
the
older to then when you get older, then the
to keep
the
buying new
tire.
clubs as
I
you
would
get
say the
bigger.
entire, the
Yeah.
shoes. You got to travel to different courses. So all
Yep.
this golf is definitely on there for me.
Golf's on there too
For
now.
me, in order, I said racing and motorsports
Yes.
because
I completely agree.
you and
Upkeeping a car is insane.
anywhere from motocross to racing a car, it, millions of dollars.
Can I pause you really quick?
Yeah.
Brendan, you remember Cameron Stanley?
Yes, I do. The bike
He
racing.
spent thousands of dollars a year on BMX, a bike,
Yeah.
not
He
even
did
a
the BMX
motorized.
racing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, the amount of money he had to spend on his
Brian, real
bike
quick,
made
look
me
at
want to throw up.
Discord so you can pull this picture up. But I just want people to know that this is a real thing.
This is a
Like
glorious
racing event,
thing.
please don't, dude. I'm gonna get addicted to this tonight. I'm not even fucking with you. Please don't
Jordan,
even get this on my
look at the
radar.
stream. Look at the stream.
Oh god damn you! I'm gonna get so sucked into this. This is gonna be like watching
Dude,
animals fight
it's
like
the
2 in the morning.
greatest thing ever.
You ready for
Little
this?
people riding little horses.
Jordan, you ready for this?
Oh, Texan said youth baseball has gotten insanely expensive. Yes, yes, it has, my friend. Yes, it has. Even to get in the league is like $800. It feels like.
Dude, I told you it's a real thing. I would have
Okay.
bet on it.
I gotta be honest. You guys are gonna call me fucked up. I kind of feel bad for the horse. The horse is like the same size as the person on it. Yo, that's crazy, dude. That's sad. Look at the guy on the orange in the far back. You cannot tell me that he is not just. Honestly, the dude even on the left, the green looks huge too.
I
There's
think
some cheaters in this shit. There's some big dudes that are trying to act like little dudes.
I was saying, imagine this like you have a legit like 40-year-old jockey who's passing for like a 15-year-old.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Faster.
Where's Waldo in that right corner? Looks like he's having a great time.
Dude, Shetland pony races. We need to find out where one is and go to
so-
one and bet on it like the Derby, dude.
Okay, another confession. I've wanted to go to midget wrestling so bad for so fucking
Are you
long.
talking about the one legit like
Yes.
that has the
Yes.
micro wrestling?
If
Yes,
we
I
don't
wanna
go to that shit in the next like year or two, I am gonna actually fucking riot.
Dude,
Live,
I'm so down to
live
go
show
to that.
from it.
Oh, we have
Dude,
to,
they
bro.
would probably be so down. Like, there's a YouTuber
We would get
I
'em
watched
all
that gone
fucking
and done
going.
some YouTube videos with him. Like, they would probably be so freaking down to let us
Dude,
like
I would
do
be
a live
so
show.
drunk and amped in the crowd, just absolutely going haywire for these guys too.
So-
oh.
Back to my
Okay, sorry,
expensive
back on
sports
topic.
list. In order: 1, racing and motorsports of any kind.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Hockey. Golf. Lacrosse.
Agreed.
So it's pretty
But
much
let's-
the same, but I was able to be like, definite.
I'll-
This shit is number one. This.
Yeah, I don't. Dude, even
'Cause, like-
upkeeping a car I don't race, I can barely afford.
Well, mine's been in the garage sitting for like a month because I
Aw.
couldn't afford to do the maintenance it needs, but I can now. So we're good.
Well, your truck is pretty fucking dope and also kind of like fixed up in a way. So at least you're spending money on a
What do you mean by
badass
that?
product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like yeah. Like for my car, I fucking love my car. It's my old Mazda 6. You know how much money I dropped on that motherfucker before I bought a new car? And literally, my mechanic looks at me the last time I brought it in, and he just goes, "Why haven't you bought a new car?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Dude, you've paid me like $3,000 in 6 months. That's not good."
That's
I was
down
like, yeah.
payment money right there.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was like, "You literally could have gotten a new car and put $3,000." And I was like, "Dude, I really like this car." And he's like, "The car doesn't like you. Just let it go." Like, yeah.
And now you went
Let it go.
hybrid.
And then when fuck you.
You're the one who went hybrid.
My hybrid's delightful.
It's like,
Of
oh, spring chicken.
course they lower gas prices right when I get it, but it's fine. No, it's not even worth it.
Dude, and honestly, for your last topic, Brian, I have the greatest city.
I was gonna say, Brennan, who are you going with? If
I
someone,
have two.
if any state were to be able to get an MLB team,
I got two.
Okay.
Nashville
Okay.
or Mexico, like Mexico City.
Okay.
Those would be one of my two to give an MLB franchise.
Okay.
I have two as well, but Brian, you want to go first?
I was gonna say Charlotte.
Oh, that
That's
actually would be
actually a
pretty
good
dope.
one, yeah.
I was gonna say
So
Charlotte.
I have two as well. I didn't know if we were strictly staying to the
But
states or if
truthfully,
I was allowed to go like
Nashville would be another good one.
oh, Nashville would
Also,
be sick.
another one is in Bama where they play the not Bama,
Oh, Montgomery?
Nebraska. No, where they play the College
Oh,
World
Omaha.
Series. Yeah, like
Mm.
get a
Yeah,
team in
Omaha.
Omaha because like it's
What
such a
about
big baseball
Yeah.
area. But
Cooperstown,
Can I go first before you
sorry, yeah,
start
go
taking my
go.
fucking?
Sorry, go
So I have two, one in the states, and then I
Louisville?
have one national. No,
That's a great one though.
my number one. You guys are gonna maybe think I'm crazy, but I think New Orleans would be actually the city's huge. They have a great fan base for the Saints.
Well,
I feel
LSU
like
baseball too is big.
Mm.
exactly, and the South is huge on baseball. I feel like New Orleans
They do
would
love.
actually be, and you have such an influx in the summertime of tourism, so you could even get out of state people coming to. If you build a badass stadium like they're gonna do in Vegas and shit, I think New Orleans would be cool. And then I was gonna go. I know they already had a team years ago. Funny enough, the Nats came from there. If you're gonna go international, I would love to see another one in Montreal. Canada. I think Toronto's got a great following with the Blue Jays. I think Canada. Obviously, I know we're beefing with them in politics and whatnot, but I think Canada would be a pretty sick giving them another baseball team. I mean, because like look at hockey. I mean, that was so cool to see the whole world come together for that tournament. You can never go European with baseball. That travel, you're traveling all year. You couldn't do
Yeah,
that.
you
But
couldn't do
I
that.
love the Mexico idea too, man. You have such a South North America population from like Central America, even I mean South America, fucking hey, Dominican and whatnot. But South American, Central America, Mexico, that would be an outstanding fan base. I mean, that would be
That would be the most devoted and
holy shit.
loyal fan base you'll ever see.
You'd have to buy a lot of security though, because they would burn that motherfucker down. If they ever
Yeah,
won a World Series, holy shit.
it would be crazy. Be a
Yeah,
fun celebration though to go to.
I love Charlotte was dope. That's a great one. And Nash, dude, I am so surprised Nashville has not tried to expand more
I
in
say
terms of
they because
sports
they have
because they are
Vanderbilt
growing like
right there.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a massive baseball college,
Yep.
so it's just like one
Shit,
of
you
those
got
things.
Knoxville, Tennessee. I mean, it's not super close, but Tennessee baseball is outstanding all the time too. You
That
have
too,
such
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Nashville, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I think Nashville's the fastest growing city in America right now. So you would have such an influx of younger people who want to go to games,
Yeah.
do your 9 inning
Because
challenge.
they only have what? Just hockey.
Oh, football. They got
They
Tennessee
have the
Titans.
Titans and then the Predators.
You're
Yeah.
right.
But to be fair, the Titans have been just so bad for so long. I hope they get better with
Cam
Cam
Ward's
Ward.
turning it
Yeah,
around.
I'm
I'm
with you.
not gonna lie. The OTAs, Cam Ward's been looking pretty
when
good.
we talk betting in a little bit, when we get to football, there's a couple there yeah, there's a couple over unders on passing yards, receiving yards, and rushing yards that my PP is chubbed up for.
Right.
But we'll talk about it when it gets there.
Oh,
Right.
jeez, he's got a chub.
Sorry.
Trying to get this graphic fixed because because I want to ask you two do fantasy football.
That we do. Real quick,
Unfortunately,
before we get into this, the tip off for the Thunder and Pacers game is about to happen, boys.
Right now?
So yeah,
I
what a
get
great
down to
tip.
the next
I
5 minutes before I get tip off. Go ahead.
I have placed my bet for tonight.
I placed all my money on a baseball bet on a parlay, so I really hope it hits. So I don't have
Here-
to add more money.
So
you guys ready for my dumb? All right, go.
here's my tonight because FanDuel gave a no sweat. It's about the only time I really like to bet on basketball.
Hate betting on basketball. Dude, the odds
I
are
have
ridiculous.
I won good money betting basketball.
I have
this year.
Pacers money line.
I like that.
Shy to get 30 points.
Like that.
Chet Holmgren over 14.5 alt points.
That's actually pretty.
Jalen Williams over 9.5 alt rebounds assists.
Oh.
Tyrese over 12.5 rebounds assists.
Oh, that's easy money.
And TJ McConnell over 9.5 alt points assists. $10 is $268.
I put 20 on just the Pacers to cover because I'm in the trenches a little bit right now. I put a $5 baseball parlay to win $18, and I thank God I fucking won it because I am in the goddamn trenches. But I put 20 on Pacers to cover 9.5. I thought the spread was egregious. 9.5. Like that's for a game one. That's crazy. You really.
These
But I will say your Shea bet SGA. He's averaged 37.5 points against the Pacers the last 2 years.
yeah.
37.5. I was thinking about slamming 40 plus on him tonight, and if he gets 40 plus,
Whoa!
I
Question.
What?
Question.
What?
Does Slugger Spotlight end and technically start a new week when we choose our new players? Because Pete Crow Armstrong homered tonight versus the Nationals.
shit, dude, the Padres don't play till
I
like
have
10.
1 point.
I just looked. It's in the first. I'm looking right now. He homered in the first inning.
I only
Six-point
got.
count.
I only
Can't wait
got.
for the Padres to play. Problem is they play after I pick my new guy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck.
I only got
I
1
have
point.
a point.
I can't have two guys.
I only got 1 point this past week. But
Yeah, dude, it was a bad week for me and Brendan. Our guys were getting like 3 hits a game, no fucking home runs. I was literally looking at the Cubs and the
now
Padres every time.
my
2 for 4.
my big question going into the NFL season is this:
Hear it.
Oh,
Saquon Barkley, cover of Madden 26. By the way, love the idea. Backwards jump hurdle. It was a monumental moment. Do we see Madden curse happening to Saquon? I'm not saying injury, but I'm saying not such a statistic year for him. Do we think the curse is gonna
Didn't
Brendan, go
somebody
first.
technically
along
break
with
the curse
along
recently?
with the curse of that, but being offensive player of the year? There's been a curse for that for the player of the following year as well.
Who wants to go first?
Plus,
I don't
isn't
think.
I want to say he's going to be number 1 for the number 1 overall for fantasy.
Oh, he's gonna be number 1 in fantasy arguably every. His ADP is gonna be one. I mean, if you're gonna go average draft position, it's gonna be number 1
Do we
because
think it's
I'm
going to be a bad year to draft him?
yes,
I'm gonna say no, yes, and the reason I say that is because people aren't gonna realize this until the season actually comes into fruition. But Saquon's not gonna have a lot of end zone looks again because who'd they sign this year? AJ Dillon. What is he known for?
1
Third
yards and
down
out,
running
baby.
back. He's going to be put in the game to do the tush pushes, to do those 1 yard runs on the goal line, 1 yard rush to get the first down. Like that's going to be AJ Dillon's game. So Saquon's not going to be on the field as much in those situations. So it's going to take away a few of his yards, obviously. So I just think his production will go down, but I still think he's going to be one of the best running backs in the NFL next year.
I'm gonna say some fucked up shit, and God forgive my. I think he's getting hurt. So if you look statistically, when you feed a running back as much as they did last year, the amount of carries he had and stuff, and then playing to the Super Bowl, so he's gonna get a little less rest. And
He's
I don't
also
know,
been
dude. I
busy
hate.
this offseason.
Yeah, he's been. I've seen him on a lot of podcasts, which I fucking hate, but I
Played
get it nowadays.
played
It's different.
golf.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm with Brendan. If he stays healthy, he's still going to get probably 1,500 yards, 8, 9 touchdowns. He's going to have a good year. I genuinely think he's going to miss, 5, 6 games maybe. Get a twisted ankle here, busted up shoulder here. He's not as young as people think. And I'm not a huge fan of when you just, Christian McCaffrey to me was just a perfect example of that. When he went to San Francisco, he had a bit of an injury history. Got to San Francisco, absolutely fucking killed it. Everyone was like, holy shit, he's the fantasy god for the next 5 years, for whatever, 3, 4 years. Like, let's draft him. What happens fucking right before the season starts? He pulls his Achilles or calf, and then his Achilles is kind of hurt, whatever. Saquon, injury history in New York, comes to Philly, cooks his ass off, just gets ridden like a horse like Christian McCaffrey. Man, I hope I'm so wrong, dude, but I feel like the stars are aligning so much. Him and Christian McCaffrey's careers look so similar, dude. So fucking similar. They cooked in their teams and they didn't do great, and then they go to a team that's pretty good, absolutely do insane. first year there, and then the second year. Well, and then Christian McCaffrey was also. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't McCaffrey the Madden cover too?
Yep.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
He was
dude. I feel like I'm
25, right?
watching. Yeah, or last year, or yeah,
I think he
20.
was
Yeah,
Madden 25.
yeah. It's like I feel like I feel like I'm in like a simulation of like the exact same path, and it just makes me really nervous, dude. Because he does have an injury history. I know he was on a bad team in New York. He got busted up in New York a lot. Blew his
Yeah.
knee out the one year. Had an ankle issue a couple times. I mean, he was banged up in New York. And how much of that was just the team fucking sucked and they didn't want to play him through the injuries, or how much of that was just he has a bit of an injury issue, and last year he got really lucky because we all know he's talented. I mean,
And
he's a
now
stud.
that people seen from last year what the Eagles can do with their O
Yeah.
line and him, they're gonna kind of have an understanding of how to counteract it a little bit better this year, to where
So
he
serious questions.
he
You guys
might
are
not, he
football
might
guys.
not be getting the lengthy carries like we were seeing him get last year.
So serious question for both of you here, and I'm curious your opinion. You guys watch a lot of football. You understand football. If you're a defensive coordinator, do you, after like you said, you watched last year, you see they rush for 200 yards a game type of deal? Do you just say fuck it, bring a safety down, put 8 in the box, and just go man to man? I don't care if you have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown; they're great. I'd rather have Jalen Hurts beat me with his arm than letting Saquon go for 180 yards a game. So if you're a defensive coordinator, would you load that box up, or would you
Yes, but I
I
would do a
am.
false. I would do a false blitz situation where I load it to make them think like, all
give a
right,
little
they're sending
deception?
the house, pull them off. But 9 times out of 10, obviously they'll catch on. So I would still send the pressure
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 times.
Okay. I agree. I
So
like
it'd
that.
be like one of those situations where it's like, say the first drive, I'm sending pressure probably each of the first 6 plays. And then after that, I'm going
Start
to
throwing
still
them
load
all.
the box, pull them back a little bit. Do that a few plays to get them, all right, what are they doing? Get them thinking here. Then I'm going to start going back and forth and see what we go from there.
Brandon, we
I,
just
I
lost your camera.
I lost your camera on my end.
I
You're
still
back.
see you.
But I'm the same way, but for me, I'm probably sending them one, two, 1 or 2 times during an outing. They will be blitzing
I,
and stacking that box.
I'm I like I'm with both of you. I think that's going to be the case. I'm with Brennan. I think when they first start their drives, the Eagles last year had the highest run percentage on first and second down.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm like, okay, motherfucker, if you're going to run the ball first down, I'm going to send an all-out blitz, and if you do
Mm-hmm.
a play action and you beat me once or twice, good
Yeah.
call. Fair. But I'm not going to let you just chunk me for 8,
And
6,
like you said, I
10.
want Jalen to beat me with his arm.
Absolutely.
Not saying he doesn't have an arm, but I'm gonna put all my trust in my corners.
Yeah.
And
Not only do I want Jalen to beat me with his arm, I also want the offensive coordinator to beat me with his
Yes.
coaching.
The new offensive coordinator
That's it,
too.
because Kellen Moore's gone. So they brought. I can't remember who they brought in. That's on me. It's my
Can't
bad.
remember the name of the guy. We go look it
But
up real
I
quick.
want him to beat me with his play calling as well. I like.
Brennan, it's Kevin Patullo.
There you go.
Ironically, he was the pass game coordinator last year. So how if he let's be honest with each other here, when you have an offensive coach who comes from his background, he's gonna come in there thinking he's the shit in the tits
Mm-hmm.
yep,
and thinking he can throw the ball all over the place.
yep.
And as soon as the defense stops a couple of those, he's going to panic and go back to Saquon. But at that time, the defense coordinator is not stupid. He's going to realize, okay, I've stopped the pass.
What else? Where are they
First
going to
two
lead to
drives.
next?
Exactly. I'm really going to
Because
side
even
with
if I'm
you, and I'm going to make
stacking the
sure
box, if Jalen tries to sneak it himself, he's not getting far.
smacking him in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm dude. If I'm a defense coordinator, this is so cheap of me, and I feel like I'm Sean Payton. I would tell my linebackers, you smack him in the mouth. I'm not saying no illegal shit where
Yeah.
you're getting, banned. If you maybe take a 15-yarder once a game, I'm not gonna be mad at you. But make sure he doesn't try to run the ball and get all cocky with himself like he does sometimes. And I like Jalen Hurts a lot, but I'm with you
I
there.
would be the coach at that point because I'm making the money. I'm telling my linebackers, he doesn't get an X amount of yards. If he doesn't get it, I'm getting them all of them Rolexes. I'm incentivizing them.
Yeah. Um, they probably all do it anyway. They just
Yeah.
don't get caught. But that's a conversation
I
for
mean,
another day.
yeah. It's
Hey, Christmas time comes around, I give my guys some Rolexes.
So I have another question. Stay on football. I have two receivers who I'm curious of you guys how you stand on these guys this year with new quarterbacks. Number one, probably the best receiver in the league, him or Jamar Chase. But Justin Jefferson with J.J. McCarthy, where are we on him? And number two, because I do think he is going to be the future Justin Jefferson in the league, arguably, is Malik Neighbors getting a new quarterback in Russell Wilson and potentially, if Jackson Dart looks that good, if Jackson Dart comes in midway through the season. So I'm curious where you guys are, both fantasy, betting, and just overall performance this year. Justin Jefferson and Malik Neighbors.
Sorry, I was like semi-listening because I was fixing the
So,
camera. Are you saying which one's going to have the better season, or what do you more so ask? Like better fantasy output, better? What do
Yeah,
you?
just over. Who do you think is going to have more success with a new situation? And by situation, I mean a new quarterback.
Yeah.
so
And I'm just curious where you guys stand on those two.
for me, in a fantasy aspect of it, I think I'd go with Malik Neighbors.
I think I'm. I think I might be leaning with you a little bit.
I would lean that way too because
Yeah.
the Giants, in my opinion, have two quarterbacks I can trust more over JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
And I say that they have Jameis Winston
Yep.
and they have Russell Wilson.
All,
I trust those two more to give Neighbors more looks, better looks, more touches than I do JJ.
I also, and I can be called a fanboy, a Jackson Dart fanboy. I think if he gets his opportunity this year, him and Malik will combine for some good numbers. That might be the young spark that Malik might need.
Jackson Dart's got a. I mean, dude, he's got a good arm and
He's been looking
mobile.
good in OTAs and
Yeah.
everything.
My thing too is when you think about it, the Vikings have a lot of weapons. I'm a huge Jordan Addison fan. T.J. Hawkinson is one of the probably
love
top three.
T-Hawk.
Dude, T-Hawk's a beast. And you still have a really good running back coming out the backfield, in Aaron Jones. I know he's a little older, but he's a great pass catching running back.
Love Aaron Jones, fantasy god for me the past
Amen.
like
So
5 seasons. Love that man.
when you look at the Giants, I'm not saying the Malik Neighbors are bust. They have a couple young receivers that if they take a step can be good. But if I'm a quarterback for the Giants, like you said, Russell and Jameis, both veterans, and I need my my default when I'm in a bad situation, if I just need to throw the bitch up, if I need to check it down to him on a little hitch, whatever, is going to be Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors could average 12 to fucking 14 targets a game. Whereas Justin
Oh,
Jefferson is
100%.
competing with T Hawk, Jordan Addison. Justin Jefferson puts up numbers, no doubt, but he might only be getting 8 targets. He's not going to be getting the volume of Malik Neighbors. I'm with you guys on that. I think I'm leaning Neighbors on. I agree.
Say obviously, like you said, that's not saying Justin's going to have a terrible year or anything.
Oh, Amy.
I'm just saying, excuse me, in terms of outlook to output of production, I just think you're right that JJ is not going to see as much production as Malik will.
So with that, do you guys think with how you guys think going into drafting for fantasy, do you think Justin Jefferson might be a second round pickup this year?
No.
No.
He will still be taken
yeah.
over Neighbors. That's for sure.
No doubt.
But he's probably gonna be a top 5 pick for sure.
Yeah. I think Brandon's 100% right, dude. A lot of fantasy football, like we just talked about with Saquon. Unfortunately, a lot of fantasy football, a lot of the people don't go into the year trying to anticipate. People that actually watch football and enjoy.
I'll
a lot
be
of
honest.
People that just do it for fun. They look at last year and they're like, "Oh, look at the numbers he put up last year. I'm drafting him this year."
So
people look at the projection.
You can ask.
Yeah.
So you can ask Brendan. Going into last year, I was still a little cocky that the year before made it to the finals. Dumb myself said, let's split. That's winner takes all instead of splitting the pot. Neither. It's a conversation for another day. But you can ask Brendan. Those days, I was looking at projected so much more than everything else, and I got fixated on it. And him and I did a trade that I remember you texting us not even 30 seconds after we posted it. I forget who it was for, but I wound up I'm not liking it. But towards the end of the year, I was like, okay, I didn't really get fucked over like I thought I was.
One of the biggest things I can't remember the trade exactly, but like one of the biggest key points was quarterback for quarterback. I know that because I think it was when I
I
got
rem-
Joe
I remember
and
I got Malik Neighbors, and
Yeah, you got
and
Aaron
I was
Rodgers,
pissed
Malik
off.
Neighbors, and I can't
I'll
remember who
say
was the third.
the big thing that screwed you was the Rodgers because
Yeah,
at the time of the trade he was having a solid season. He was producing. After that trade happened, Rodgers just went downhill. So that trade, that in your head, I can see how you're like, this trade fucked me.
He
When in
lost me so much
reality,
money on FanDuel.
if he continued on the season he had, that trade would have been the most greatest straight up trade you'll ever see in a
I'm
fantasy
also gonna
football
put this
fucking.
out there for the world to know. I had Saquon Barkley, and I traded him.
That was part of the trade to me. Was
Yeah,
Saquon.
you gave you. That's why I literally was like, you gave up Joe Burrow and Saquon, the number one quarterback and number one running back.
I was
It
trying
was
to.
like a
I was.
3 for 5
I was
deal.
trying to go
I
for
gave up
longevity.
5 and he gave up 3.
Longevity. No, I mean, my thing with Aaron Rodgers. Let's take a detour per se. Aaron Rodgers is going to be signing with the Steelers. If anybody
Yes.
hasn't seen
I
that.
have a graphic for that, but
Oh
proceed.
hell yeah. So I gotta be honest with you guys, and people are gonna call me a hater, and I'm actually this is like the exact opposite. Not a hater. Respect Aaron Rodgers beyond belief as a player in his career. One of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen from a talent standpoint. But you're how do I put this in like a delightful way for the Steelers fans out there that don't want to
A
stab me?
delightful way.
You guys,
Not wanting to stab you is a tough one because they just want to stab everybody.
yeah. You guys have an oh how beautiful, how are you? You guys have an aging defense
Mm-hmm.
who didn't play great last year, if we're gonna be completely honest, for a Mike Tomlin defense.
And a coach
Didn't play
who can get to the playoffs but can't get.
yeah, so and then so here's my biggest gripe. And I'm not even a big George Pickens fan because he is a bit of a nut job, but he's incredibly good at football, if we're gonna be honest with each other. If you're if you're gonna get Aaron Rodgers, wouldn't you wouldn't you want to keep George Pickens
Do you think
to
part of
have
the conversation was I don't want Pickens as a receiver?
potentially, or vice versa? Maybe Pickens said, I'm sick of Mike Tomlin's hard ass on me. I want to be more of a free
Pause.
spirit.
No, did he?
No, did he? Maybe I'm sick of the culture here. I have a big personality, which he does, and maybe I want to be traded to a younger quarterback who I can maybe build more of a future with. And I know, yeah.
Definitely got younger.
Yeah, they got Dak Prescott at 32 or 33, who's going on 40 with his injuries. So maybe maybe in George Pickens' mind, he also wanted to be traded. So maybe you're right there. But I just, as a team building standpoint, if I'm the Steelers, my defense isn't the best, even though they have talent, but the talent gets hurt. A la T.J. Watt, love T.J. Watt. He gets hurt all the time though. If I'm a coach, Mike Tomlin, and I don't think my defense, even though Mike Tomlin unfortunately that's what blinds him, he thinks his defense is going to be top 5 every year. I would have strongly considered keeping George Pickens because I would have just told my team in a way, if I kept George Pickens, we're gonna have to score points to win games. You have to go against the Bengals twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go against the Ravens twice a year. And I hate to break it to you, I don't care how good your defenses are. If Joe Burrow's
Can I
healthy and Lamar
can I
Jackson's healthy,
also
those guys
say
put up
this
numbers.
now? I want to go back on what I said. Now knowing who the quarterback is, I think Bengals are winning both those games.
Uh, I I can't. I'm not mad at you for that, dude. I'm confused as a football fan, and that's all I can say on that. Your offensive line is no better than the Jets' offensive line was last year, and we saw kind of how that affected an older quarterback.
Do you
So
think,
I
truthfully,
just,
do you think Will Howard can learn under Aaron Rodgers?
I,
I want to say yes, but it's also like, is Aaron Rodgers willing to be the
thank
teacher
you.
that
I
Will
don't.
Howard
I
needs?
don't think he is.
Like, don't get me wrong.
Uh,
You'll ask him, like, I'm not going to name the show that's going to ask him these questions, but they'll ask him, "Are you helping Will Howard become a better athlete?" And of course, Aaron's going to say what you want to hear, but I just don't know if Aaron's going to be willing. I mean, he'll be willing, but I don't know if he'll care enough to to do it.
My biggest question that I have, and it's a serious question when I ask this. He waited. I'm not. At least we did. At least we didn't have to wait the entire off season for him to make his decision. But do we think his body is cleansed enough from any drugs that he took on one of his retreats that he can finally pass an NFL drug test? That's why he said, I'm ready to sign." Since he likes to go out to the woods and do like the hippie stuff and
Ayahuasca.
be one with nature and
So my biggest gripe about this whole situation when you wait this long, and I'm not saying it would have changed the Steelers draft because it very well probably didn't, but for a lot of situations when a player waits as long, you're a starting fucking quarterback. You are the franchise, right? Like tell the team or at least sign and maybe he gave them word of mouth, I will sign with you in X month, whatever, understood. But to me it's so selfish sometimes when you don't give the franchise the chance, because let's just say he backed out on his his word, and you went into that draft and you didn't go a quarterback, you
yeah,
know. So like to me a big camaraderie thing slash, because let's also remember Cam Hayward came out and said, I'm not for this kind of bullshit. You either want to be a Steeler, you don't want to be a Steeler. So you already have a team captain in Cam Hayward who's kind of already voiced his displeasure with the whole charade he puts on. And I'm not saying Cam Hayward was right or Aaron Rodgers was right, but to me, I'm a huge guy for if you know you're going to play with them, just sign with them,
yeah.
give them the security that they know you're going to be there, and then maybe that would have given them the confidence in the draft to maybe go a different avenue or maybe do this, do that.
Even if he wasn't gonna show up for
Exactly. You didn't have to
the
show up. They're voluntary OTAs for a reason. Voluntary.
like, even if you weren't gonna show up to those, at least give them the verbal, maybe sign something in secrecy and say, hey, we're not gonna broadcast this till this date. We're not gonna announce this till this date, but everyone else knows.
Uh,
But truthfully, that kind of just feels like it goes with the culture that's over there at Pittsburgh. The I play for me, I only care about me, not really a family
So this
kind of
is a good thing
aspect.
for TJ Watt now, because this is probably going to incline the Steelers to give him all the money he
Ooh,
wants. Because now they're like, all right,
boom.
we're going to win now mode. Let's do
Yep.
it. And then TJ's going to get paid a fucking
which
fat
I
paycheck. And
hope
they're
so
still not going to
because
win
Years
any
old.
I
championship.
I want to see TJ go somewhere else,
I do
but
too.
I do too. I don't want to see him waste his career
no.
Me
in
either.
Pittsburgh. I hate to say this, kind of like his brother. JJ wasted his career in Houston. Great defenses, but they never had an offense to back it. So it's just a great career that was wasted away. He was great for the city of Houston,
Yeah.
though. Not denying that fact, but I just don't want to see all the Watt brothers have disappointing careers where they win nothing
Because of where
because
they
they're
are.
on
Yeah.
poverty franchises. That's just
Amen.
not what I want to do.
Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see JJ in the black and orange, but go elsewhere, brother. Go somewhere that
Dude.
will appreciate you and pay you.
We're all in this. I think we can all agree. I'm to the point. I might be definitely shanked. I don't know, but I really think you gotta. I hate to say it this way. You gotta restart, dude. You have a very aging roster where you're paying a shit ton of money. Minka Fitzpatrick, T.J. Watt, now Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
Cam Hayward, right? You have all these guys that are over the age of 30 making over $115 million combined. You and I hate to say it, you have to get rid of Tomlin. You have to get rid of Tomlin, man. Mike Tomlin is one of my favorite coaches. I freaking love the guy. He got gifted Ben Roethlisberger, who
Yeah.
won a Super Bowl in like his first or second year. It wasn't really his team. You
It'll be a good
oh
start for it'll be a good restart for Pittsburgh and get rid of
you
those
got
stupid ass
yeah
terrible towels too.
yeah yeah agreed. You're running in place, man. They're on a treadmill right now, and they're not going anywhere. You might go with Aaron Rodgers 9-8 again, maybe sneak in the playoffs, and then get dicked by Ravens, Bills, whoever. You're on the path to nowhere, dude. You gotta restart and do something else. I'm sorry, unless Aaron Rodgers taps into 27-year-old Aaron Rodgers, which I don't think is going to happen at 41.
I don't think his body will allow that.
No, agreed. I just I just hope it's sadly probably not going to be. I just hope this is Aaron's last hurrah.
Yeah.
Like I just hope
I can
because
also
now it's to the point where it's like his great career is slowly on the decline because
yeah.
now he's trying to just constantly have one good final season or one good push or whatever, and it's just at this rate with the teams he's signing for, the Jets, the Steelers, it's not going to happen. Those are
I'm gonna
I hate to say it, they're poverty franchises right now.
I'm gonna
They're so far in poverty, it hurts.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. If I were him, I would have retired when my ACL went.
So, can I give you guys a genuine question? If you're Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
would you have, to me, have been a better idea? Maybe not retire. Don't sign with the fucking Steelers. Wait 2 to 4 weeks. See how JJ McCarthy does with the Vikings. If he's not doing good, you could get a phone call there. You go into a 10 times better situation there.
I,
Or, God forbid, an injury to Mahomes. And I'm not wishing this. I'm just saying one of the really good teams, the Mahomes, Lamar,
Well, I
Josh
mean,
Allen,
not
one of
even a
the
good
better
team.
teams.
Let's just say, just because of a shoulder injury today, Anthony Richardson. That's one quarterback gone. Now
Yeah.
they're left with
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. Couldn't think of his name. Thank you.
Ooh,
What happens if he goes down? Then now the Colts, who were
much better
planning on
roster.
having two really good, young, not really good, two promising young quarterbacks.
Yep.
Now, either of them can't go, then what? So it's like there's a lot of situations here where I think Aaron just should have. I mean, yes, he waited long enough, but he should have come out and said, "Hey, I'm not signing until after OTAs, or I'm going to wait until after preseason, or I'm going to wait until first couple weeks just to see."
I
Because, like I said, I just think this isn't going to do anything to boost his career. If anything, it's just going to hurt it because,
That's
like
what's
Jordan
sad.
said, they might just squeak in with a wild card spot and then get absolutely donkey dicked in round one. So it's just like, what is the point?
That's what breaks my heart, genuinely, dude. There's nothing sadder to me. I'm gonna call it the damn. I hate even saying this. It's like the Drew Brees finish, right? You're a shell of your former self. You're a legendary quarterback, and it's just so sad when you see him go out like that. It's so fucking sad, dude, to see that
100%.
because you have so much respect for these guys, but you just watch him. Drew Brees was 40. He's 41. You, it just breaks your heart, man, because you know how good they were. And it breaks my heart too because let's just shits and giggles. You have the younger generation who's only been watching football a couple years.
yeah.
They're gonna grow up thinking, "Damn, Aaron Rodgers sucked." Oh, let me
Yep.
tell you a story.
But they
Let me
never
tell you
saw
exactly what happened.
Packers Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. You didn't
They
see
never saw
four
all those
MVPs.
Hail Marys he was
Yes.
slinging down the field to win the fucking football game. Like, you don't know Aaron Rodgers like we know Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And that's how I want to remember Aaron Rodgers.
Amen.
I don't want when somebody says, "Hey, man, what do you think of Aaron Rodgers?" Well, the last 4 years of his career were fucking awful, and that's kind of all I remember. Hey, that's not what I want, but that's that's the river we're flowing down.
Strongly on the board. Strongly on the board.
So
But Aaron, I wish you luck.
Aaron, if you somehow hear this, like he said, I wish you luck, but please stop going to poverty franchises. Just Jesus.
Just hang up the
Just
cleats.
because they were once a good franchise and historically a good franchise doesn't mean they are one right now. So that doesn't mean you go to them.
Hang up the NFL cleats and maybe go be a college quarterback coach.
Should be an offensive coordinator in the NFL. The guy knows
I was
offense.
just gonna
If you
say,
still
have
want to
him
keep
somewhere.
if you still want to dip the toes in, do it there. That route.
Yeah, I mean, to Jordan's point with the whole Tomlin thing is, I agree. And like Jordan said, Tomlin is a great coach. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying he has definitely run his tenure with the Steelers, and at this time, like people say, it's time for a fresh start, greener pasture. That's what
Yeah.
That's what everyone in this situation needs: a fresh start. It's not like Mike Tomlin won't get fucking scooped up for a head coaching gig. That won't be a fucking problem. So let's just stop like acting like it will be. It's more so the Steelers have sucked and have been mediocre, minimum 500 team, and everyone's happy about it for some reason. So it's just like, why don't we start winning again?
That'd be nice.
Couldn't agree more, man. I
But
have a feeling we're
I'm
getting the Drew Brees model here, man.
I'm sitting here thinking about like salaries and paying players and everything else. In your opinions, we'll just use the Dodgers as example because apparently they got money out of the fucking wazoo to pay players overtime.
When you push it 10 years down the line.
Now, what NFL team do you feel is closest to how the Dodgers do business in the NFL?
Philadelphia Eagles. Because actually, it's actually seriously, we're talking about pushing contracts. I beg whoever's watching to go look at the Philadelphia Eagles contracts. They push Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown. They push the money to the last couple years of each contract to keep salary space open, and then do extensions to keep pushing it down. And that's great, fine, and dandy until the rubber meets the road, and then you have a New Orleans Saints situation where when they had Drew Brees in his last final years, they did the same thing. And now, guess what? They're paying. I couldn't remember the statistic. It's like 17 players that they're paying that don't even play on their fucking team because they cut them, traded them, whatever. So the Eagles right now, and as much as I respect the hell out of Howie Roseman for being able to put together the team he's put together, when you just push the ball down the road because the contract or salary cap's going to increase, yeah, it's going to increase. But that's just if AJ Brown doesn't throw another huge bitch fit and demand a trade, and then you have to trade him to a team that's either A, willing to take the contract, or B, makes you hold on to some of the contract, and then you're going to be paying him trying to get other people. So who cares if the salary cap goes up? You're still paying the guy you traded, and then you have to pay another guy. So I'm going to go with the Eagles on that because of that kind of suspended contract.
I'm gonna go with the Niners.
Very good one, there.
It's another team that will dish out contracts, try and push them back, delay, then go out and sign another one, and then trade them away and do it all over again. So that's Niners would be. But
They're
I like the Eagles are definitely a good answer.
no,
Yeah.
and that's a great. They're paying the two. I can't pronounce his fucking name. The safety, Dre Greenlaw, and I
Who?
think I read one more guy. The Niners. They're still paying some of the contracts of these guys that left in free agency.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
They had pushed it, and the Niners, go look at their dead cap this year. They have a fuck ton of dead cap money because, and everyone's like, whoa, 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 they traded these guys or they got rid of these guys. They cut this
I
guy.
said
They
people
did
don't
this.
realize how contracts work and
Thank
realize
you.
that
You
just
know,
because you signed them with all this
so
money that you guaranteed them and that they're all
you
promised, if you trade them before they get that money, that becomes
Amen.
dead cap salary. Dead cap salary stays there until that
Eh,
money, until that contract is done.
yep. It don't go. Hey, it's not just disappearing into the universe.
you know who's another team who doesn't? I don't think they overspend, but's in like a salary cap hell. Chiefs. They're talking about it all after last season.
Yeah.
They're in salary cap hell,
I was
and
saying they wanted
and
Kelsey to be, they wanted him to retire so that
Yep.
way they wouldn't have to get his contract going. Then obviously they traded Tooney because
yeah,
his contract
because
they
they
needed to
said
get rid of. So it's like,
if they get if Kelsey were to leave, that opens up somewhere between like
16 million.
it
no
was
that
like 18, wasn't it?
it was,
Yeah, it was
it
insane.
was upwards of like 20ish, I think.
It was a lot of
At
money.
first they were like 30s, but then I think after like adjustments,
After, yeah.
yeah, like around 20, which
And they're also everyone. You remember when Patrick Mahomes signed the, what was it, 10-year, 550 million deal or something,
Yeah.
right? Everyone was like, "Holy shit, dude! They only own 40 million this year, 42 next year." That the pays come due. His salary cap hit now is like 61 million,
yeah.
or
I was saying because he signed that 10-year
Yep.
contract. What was it, like 5 years ago? At this
Yes.
point, at this like
It
so
was
it's
it was
like,
after his first season, right?
and
Yeah,
didn't they
or
extend him as
second,
well and
Yeah,
give
they
him
just
more
recently
money
extended
on
him.
top of it? Yeah, so it's like there's just I get it. He's a franchise quarterback, but you're just hurting yourself because now you're getting to the point where you have to trade these other franchise
Yeah.
guys, and now you're going to rely heavy on rookies.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wish you all the best, but good gosh,
So
that's
for people
ballsy.
who don't understand NFL contracts, when you extend
Or just
somebody,
contracts in
yeah,
general in any
in
sport,
general,
because dead cap is in every sport.
it's brutal to your franchise. When you extend a player, the whole point of extending him is to do what we were just talking about. You can then push the money further down the road in a way. So
Which
Josh Allen,
let me just
Mahomes,
say they
Lamar,
still get paid, but
yes,
not anywhere
right,
close
yeah,
to what they're still
And
getting a
that's like
paycheck, but they're not getting
now
anywhere close to what it is towards the end, like you just said with
exactly.
Mahomes.
The
Now,
end is gonna be
and
schmack.
then that's also when you see like all these 150 million guaranteed money. That's because they're trying to prolong the spending, but that's where the dead cap comes into play.
mhm.
So that's where people, just because you get all this guaranteed money, you could fuck yourself in the long run. Say this player after 2 years of losing seasons goes, "Hey, I want to trade." Well, guess what?
You know,
We owe you a lot of money,
a
buddy.
a good show to watch to kind of almost understand it a little bit better with like salary caps and everything. Ballers on HBO with The Rock.
The Rock, yeah.
That was a
I've been
really
watching clips of it.
it's on Netflix. Every season's on Netflix. Um that's a really good show to watch and kind of get a better understanding of how agents go and chat about contracts and extensions and guaranteed money and this and that and whatnot. It breaks it down a little bit better so the average sports fan who doesn't follow it heavily
Oh,
can understand it
wow.
more.
I agree. And I feel bad sometimes for casual sports fans because I'm sure, and a lot of people's casual sports, there's nothing wrong with being a casual sports fan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
Even
But
casual sports and people who are fans who are just getting into
yes,
a little heavier than before.
because I love when Lamar Jackson, for instance, was having his huge contract standoff with the Ravens. It wasn't about the total sum of the contract, it was about guaranteed money. So, an athlete, their entire goal is because, as Brendan said it perfectly earlier, when it is guaranteed, it is true to the fucking word guaranteed. So, if I get 300 million, 275 guaranteed, that means the team can't, because a lot of teams want to do 200 million guaranteed for 300 million. That means they're going to try to pay you that 200 million in the first 4 years. So the last 3 years or 2 years of your contract, they can technically cut the shit out of you, and that dead cap goes from up here if it was guaranteed to down here.
Yeah.
So that's why the owners never want to guarantee the money, and that's why
It's
the
Like
players
a
won't sign it.
a prime contract to look at right now is Stephon Diggs. That is a contract that the Patriots lined up to be the greatest contract for them if
Yep.
they wanted to. Because after 1 year, they could cut him and they would not have
Not
to
even,
pay
yeah.
him.
The dead cap would literally be like 2 million for 1 year and then nothing. They did great on that contract. And then the other example of when the player won, and I hate using this because of so many off the field
it
issues, was Deshaun Watson. He
you
got
know,
fully
isn't it
guaranteed contract.
isn't
Yes.
They can't trade him. They can't cut him. They have to eat that shit.
so Russell Wilson, how many teams still owe him money with dead cap?
I think it's just the Broncos at this point now.
Yeah, the Broncos
Let's
have
say
one more year.
The
The Seahawks
Broncos.
owed money the first year he was in Denver. Then the Broncos owed
What about with the
3 more
Steelers?
years.
Do they owe him anything else?
No, he
No,
signed for
because he
nothing
was a
because of the
1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, say he was on a
yeah.
1 year vet min basically.
Okay.
So he got all the money from the Steelers.
He got literally the Broncos are still paying him something like 31 million or 28 million, and he
That's
hasn't
why
played there.
that's
And
why
what's
he's fine
crazy
with signing all these vet min
is
Yep.
the
contracts.
man's playing in New York, getting a paycheck from them, and then it's like, oh, by the way, here's the
Here's
ding
another
from Colorado or
yep.
Denver.
Every Friday, that motherfucker's on his door.
Actually, I think NFL gets paid on Mondays.
Well, whatever the hell.
Monday
it
or
is, it's on his
Tuesday,
fucking
because
doorstep.
Cam Newton was talking about it one time. He's like talking about his rookie season, and he's like, "Yeah, it was Tuesdays." He's like, "Every Tuesday on the dot, I would look, boom, multiple digits in there."
As the number 1 overall pick, there was more than multiple digits. My God, that
But
was a and let me tell you, he was worth every fucking penny.
yeah,
Yes, he was.
He was worth every fucking penny.
yeah, he was.
Greatest,
Oh,
one of
man.
the greatest draftees we've ever had.
These NFL contracts are going to get to the point. I hate to say it this way. I never want to side with the owner, but these NFL contracts are going to get to the point where owners are going to have to. They have to band together to stand their ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a semi-good quarterback, he is going to milk your ass like a fucking dairy cow on a farm
It doesn't
until you're
help.
dry.
It doesn't help either when these teams in past, like we'll just say the Chiefs with Mahomes, paying him what they're paying him. Now other people are like, "Well, I've taken you